One of the things that I adore about what I see y'all on Facebook all the time, dancing and stuff like that, and having fun together. So talk about this pole in the bedroom. Talk about this pole in the bedroom, because that very so much intrigued me.
That was some of the video that I put out in 2010. I was talking about outside, and I was talking about the pole in the bedroom. Keep that spark going. You know, I know she don't mind saying this, but she a freak too. Man, let me tell you, we grown. Okay, she's almost 50 and fine. And that pole that we got in the bedroom, it's getting me a little emotional right now. Thanks, Craig. See if I got some tissue in it. Whew. Oh, that pole, Lord have mercy. Yeah, 2 teenagers, very thin, had a little scully on their head. I could see they were very young, maybe 15. Okay, went and tried to pull the back of my tailgate. The other one went to my window and was peeking through with the gun in his hand, trying to look and see. He didn't see me in there. Then he took out a little jimmy stick and tried to jimmy the lock. So now I'm like, there's a gun, imminent danger. There's a car in front of you, a car behind you. And you can't get out your door. Shoot this little boy. Shoot him. I picked up my 40 cal and I put it to the window, and something was like, don't do it, I'm like, hold up, but if you get in the car, I'm having this conversation with myself. Wow. With my gun pointed right at his head.
So the firearm instructing thing, so you got into that, and let's talk about why it's important for, in my opinion, Black families to purchase firearms, especially. So I came to you after January 6th, I was at home, I was at work. I remember watching this intrusion on the Capitol. And I was like, oh, they about to get shot. They about to get shot up. And then I was like, how come they're not getting shot? They I mean, they're attacking the Capitol, and there's police officers there, because my building where I work is diagonal from the Capitol. It's like right on the corner of where the Capitol is. And so where they were bum rushing, I was like, they are not shooting anybody. And I know that the police work there. And I was like, this is crazy. So I was mesmerized. I felt the same way about January 6th as I did 9/11.
9/11.
Yeah. I was on I was working at the State Department at the time, and we can look out the window and see the Pentagon. And when
it was total chaos downtown,
it was time to get home, I had to walk from Foggy Bottom to, I think, Anacostia.
Wow.
Metro station.
Nothing was working.
Well, actually, the metros were working, but I was like, if I was a terrorist, I'd get on the metro and blow the metro up. I was like, I'm not getting on the metro. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk to the hood, because they don't really care about the hood anymore. They're not gonna blow up Anacostia's metro. No. So I'm like, let me get away from LaFont Plaza and Metro Center. So after I did it, but anyway, I felt the same way about that. I was like, I was like, we need to make sure that whatever little the lack of creativity is what they said in 9/11, and this is lack of creativity they didn't plan for for January 6th. And so I'm a very creative person. So I was thinking of the different ways that people can creatively,
absolutely
shut down the system. The system. And so I was like, I need guns. And so I was like, we need to come up with a situation. So I called Pierre, a good friend Pierre, and he was like, yo, I took a training class with Iz. I was like, send me his information. I need to know. And then that's when I reached out to you all.
We got our training after January 6th?
Yeah.
I feel like it was before then.
No. It was January 6th.
That was the very first one?
Yeah, and then he sent me an email describing, and it was like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
When Chloe and everybody came back? Oh, and my niece. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So
Morgan and all them.
Yeah. So that is kind of, to me, why it's important. But talk about, I guess, from your perspective, why it's important for Black families to be armed and be able to protect themselves.
Well, I believe it's important because first, and I'm not even being spooky, the devil. Okay, but I'm being
the facts
because
yeah.
The devil is influencing people to do crazy things out in the streets, as we all know. And not that we lean on our firearms as protection, because we know we know who we lean on.
Right.
Okay? Right. I just want to get that out the way. But we want to be prepared for the unknown,
Right.
even while we're covered.
Right.
If that
Right.
makes sense. We want to be prepared for the unknown even while we cover. And some people that are not, they're not with the two-way thing, they're not with the firearm, it's so be it. That's where you are. I just believe that, especially with the amount where we live at, the amount of people that we see, you just don't know the intent on people's hearts. You know how many murderers you walk by every day?
I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't want to really know.
Dangerous.
I don't want to know.
Exactly. Dangerous, seen and unseen. So we want to deal with the seen and the unseen at any given time. And that's why
Correct.
I think that it's just a great thing to have it and not need it.
Yeah.
You know, literally, that's, instead of needing it and not having it, and it's just so many examples of not having it that I don't want to talk about. And there are also so many examples of those who had it and were able to defend themselves legally.
I want to give you props too on your training. That we've been through several training of yours, because we were at a cookout not too long ago or somebody, and we were talking to some friends of ours, and we were how did it come up? The guns or something came up. No, I don't know how the guns come up. We was like, yeah, we got our conceal and carry from Maryland, whatever. But I was saying, but I don't really like it because of the last training. I felt like the rules are mainly for the criminals as opposed to the one home. So I was like, I'm really kind of scared of doing, because of like that training, all the things that can happen to you if you jump the gun and do stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was so funny because somebody at the thing said, you're exactly right. Because it happened to her.
What happened?
Wow.
I said, because I was listening to that training, it made me like, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
It, you know, whatever. But something happened.
Somebody was breaking in her house.
Her mom's car. No, they was trying to steal the mom's car. She heard noise outside, and they was trying to steal her car. Her mom was out of town. They was trying to steal the car, and she went out. She did not retreat. Oh. She went out and was.
No, Bernie, somebody was She looked out the window, and somebody was breaking in her house.
They wasn't trying to get in yet.
Yes, they were.
Okay, but they didn't get in.
She said she heard something, and she was like,
heard
somebody
outside.
Yeah, because
they was messing with the car.
She heard something outside. Somebody was trying to break in the house, and so she went and got her shotgun or her handgun, one of the two. And then she went to the top of the stairs, and then she ran down and opened the door.
Oh, no.
And then out.
And then she saw them, and then she chased them. In the street.
That's what I'm saying. She went out and was shooting at them down the street.
And they got in the car and drove away.
She went to jail.
Bop, bop, bop.
No.
She went to jail.
Who trained her?
She went to, I don't even know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But my point is, because when I said that at the cookout, I was like, because of what we learned in training, I was like, the rules are mainly for the criminals and not the people. And then she was like, you're exactly right. And then she told us that story, how she went to jail and everything. I mean, she got out and everything,
And she said she was in her house clothes, and so she just put a robe on.
Wow.
Because I was talking about
so she went to jail, and they let her put on a jumper, but no bra and no underclothes, nothing. It's just you got to go to jail.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I was
She said she was facing 24 years.
What?
Yes.
But she got
Them
off. She
bullets
got
could
out.
hit anybody.
Yeah, thank God she didn't hit nobody. But I was like, that training. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, you chased him? You didn't retreat? I knew
You knew the word.
I knew the words. I was like, you got to be in danger, like you about to die.
Yes.
I was like, I knew all the words. And she was like, nope, I went out and I ended up in jail.
Babe.
Yeah, I was like, let me give you kudos. Because listen, I got those rules. I was like,
When we went to the last training that you all did.
The large one?
Yeah.
Large training.
You brought in a bunch of police officers that were asking people questions and giving people scenarios like, what if you are home, it's 3:00 in the morning, and somebody comes to your house, they bust in your door, you're upstairs in bed, you grab your gun, and then what would you do? Well, I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to jail. Why?
Yes.
And then they would give all the different kind of scenarios about why you need to do the due diligence to retreat or to especially in Maryland. I'll say in Maryland because we're not a
Maryland,
stand your
yeah.
ground state.
Right.
You retreat or be in. You have to present that you are in imminent danger.
Imminent danger. That's
in
what I
order
was
for
telling
you
people.
to be justified to shoot somebody that broke in your house at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It is crazy.
That's disrespectful.
And you got to do it in
Very
seconds. You got to do it in
disrespectful.
seconds.
It is crazy.
And when you're under that type of pressure, you're not thinking about rules and what you've learned.
Right.
You're thinking
Yeah.
about
I'm
need
in
to
danger.
live.
Right.
Exactly.
You're thinking
It's
about
crazy.
I need to live. But the reality is we have to be effectively trained and pull on that training so
And
that
what-
we don't go to jail.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
and
Brian.
it's and basically, because at the cookout, I was saying this is why I don't. The Maryland rules are like totally crazy because
Yes.
other states are different than
Yes.
Maryland.
And after October 1st,
Oh yeah, I mentioned that too. It's gonna be even worse.
Did that bill go through?
it went through.
Oh, it
Okay.
did.
It went through. However, the judge.
They made a
He
few
paused.
Talk
paused
about
a few things.
so people don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So we're
Talk
talking about Senate Bill 1. The governor
Westmore.
in Maryland.
in the state of Maryland came up with his partners, whatever, and they came up with all these different laws. Like one of them was you can't go to your friend's house with your firearm without permission from your friend to come in their home.
And so Maryland, just for context, Maryland, after the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional for you to have for the states to say you have to justify why you
Yep.
need to own a firearm, and it became open season for everybody that got a firearm. You can get yours without having to come up with a justification. So the response to that was this bill.
Yes.
This
So
one.
now it's
Senate
like,
Bill 1.
now that we have to give it to you, we get to tell you where you can carry it.
Right.
And which is absolutely crazy. So one of the main ones is that we can carry our firearms in places that serve alcohol, because that was on
That was on the
that
new
was on
bill.
the list.
that
The judge said no, that's
if
crazy.
you went to a restaurant that Fridays that sells alcohol,
You
your
could.
firearm
couldn't bring it in
cannot
there.
go in Fridays.
And the judge said no, that's not happening. So we can.
So
Okay. Yeah, so
restaurants.
we
What else did they knock down?
Movie theaters cannot.
That
Tag
was stuck
it.
though, right?
That's where you need protection. That's where they shot up people.
No, the movie theater is still on the list.
That's what I mean. That's the one that's stuck. They didn't take it off.
Dad, you
Yeah.
can't.
movie theater
Man,
stuff.
I be going to the movie theaters. I be
You
going
do
to
at night.
at nighttime, and I
Oh,
be.
shh, don't tell people.
Yeah,
Don't
you're right.
tell people where you
They
go.
might
They don't know
try
where
to
I'm going. They
meet
don't know
you.
where I'm going. But and what day I'm going. But I be coming home late, and after January 6th, I started buying knives, pocket
Yeah.
knives. I checked the laws to see what was legal.
Yep.
Can't have it more than 4 inches long.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I bought filtered on the
got a whole
website
bunch of
4
them,
inches.
too.
I got them to match outfits.
He does.
Wow.
He does.
I believe it too.
Got one on me right now. little pearl handle
how pretty it
situation.
is.
Nice. That's nice.
Got nice ones. I'm telling you, got a whole bunch of them.
Nice little unicorn color.
You know,
Nice.
Fluorescent.
little situation I got going
They
on.
real sharp too.
Yeah, this one's real sharp. But yeah, so I started wearing knives. And so when I'm leaving the movie theater, I have my hand in my pocket just in case, because there's certain angles and you come out the movie theater real late.
Yes.
I'm like, I wish I was able to take my firearm with me, especially now people be up in the movie theater shooting and everything. And then with all these racial, the spurring of the racial climate, I'll call that racial climate. You never know what you're going to encounter.
You're right. And it's really about being vigilant and knowing your situation, called situational awareness, no matter where you are.
Right.
Always watch. It can be the most nicest looking, innocent looking person, and those be the one.
Right.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
So don't. And when we go out to eat, I always sit where I can see the door.
Right.
And unfortunately, I'm judging everybody that come to that door.
I mean, that's not
Like
unfortunate.
My
look
brother.
crazy.
The same
I don't
way.
think that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to be I don't like judging people, but I'm looking at you and I'm watching your waistline.
Yeah.
I say, why you keep touching your waistline?
Yeah.
I was out the other day and I forgot. I don't know how I walked out the house without my firearm. And we were going to some store to look at a suit. And when we came out, these people they was like, oh, y'all look cute with what y'all have on. Remember we was walking to the church?
Oh yeah.
And it was just something real fishy. So wherever they were standing by the car. Then they came from around the car and started walking towards us.
They were by a van actually.
They were by a van.
Yeah.
And so I looked at my wife. I was like, you got my back? And she was like, I got your back. So
That's
why?
what I'm talking about.
I'm
God.
serious.
Why did you say that?
So we didn't want to look high. I didn't want to turn around and look at him like this, right?
He
So
said, "You got my 6." I said, "I got you."
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's the type of stuff. Like, you got to be intentional. Yeah, man. She had my back.
Cause they, while they compliment y'all, hot looking
they start
couple,
walking
y'all,
towards us,
y'all look nice, blah blah blah.
like that.
And now you walking close to the car, but he had bags in his hand or something, or putting something in the back seat of the car, and he didn't want to turn around, make it look obvious, that he was watching them. So he asked me, "You watching?" "Yep, I am. I got you."
Yeah.
So.
Oh. See, that's why what you just said is exactly why he wanted me to carry. Like, I need backup. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to carry this thing. He's so silly.
It's so silly.
He's so silly.
You a mess.
That's what I'm talking about. You don't understand, because I don't think you understand, Bernie, because as the man, I have to be, and there's this big emphasis on man being the protector, which I understand, and not that women cannot protect themselves.
Of course.
But as a man, and as you, my wife, that's what I'm supposed to do. So
Yes.
I am always on the lookout of any threat that's going on.
Absolutely.
I saw it was I think a short or a reel or something like that, and there was a couple. They were walking through the mall, and they were holding hands, and she was like, they're just walking through the mall, and it played the audio of what the man is thinking in his head. Okay, he looks kind of suspicious. Okay, let me see if this this person's
His
coming
head
around
was
the
on
corner.
swivel.
Okay, this person's coming around, and then they played what's going on in her mind. She's like, la 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 la. And he's like, okay, everybody. And so they're just walking, looking real. And I was like, that's exactly what men do.
Yes.
And especially when we go out.
That's him all the time.
I know it is.
Facts.
When we go someplace when we don't know, or there's certain places, especially with this whole racial thing happening now.
Yeah.
There's racial emphasis going on, and I wanted us to go camping or go RVing someplace.
Yeah.
There's certain states that I won't go to, because I just won't do it. I follow some black female RVers that are solo RVers and van lifers, and they said that one of the women said that she was in, I think, Oregon or something like that, in this beautiful park. But then there was some rally that they were having at that campground, and she saw Confederate flags, and she was a black single woman by herself. She was like, she got out. Now, fortunately, she's I think she was a police officer. Okay. So she knew how to handle herself, but she was like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Get up out of here.
By yourself. Absolutely.
When we were in Vegas, I went to a conference for my job in Vegas this last June, and I was coming back from one of the classes, and I almost regret telling him this, but I was coming back. It was a lot of people, because it was probably one of the largest attended conferences that they had. And so I was leaving the conference, got out the charter bus and walked to my hotel, which was right across the street. And I was telling Iz, when I turned the corner where the restaurant row is by our hotel, I turned the corner, and this young couple walked by, and I had my crossbody bag on, but it was zipped. But the girl bumped me, and I knew automatically she was a pickpocket. I knew. And the way she bumped me, she was like, "Oh, my bad, sweetheart," when she turned, but they were holding hands, walking. I said, and I gave her the look like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And so my purse was like gently unzipped. It wasn't like open, but it was gently unzipped. So I know they were trying to pickpocket me. So when I got in the hotel, I told Iz about it. Boy, he went from 0 to 100. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta always be, and I said, I was watching, but they were because it was so many people.
Yeah.
They were walking quickly towards me. And I'm sure that's how they make their living, walking around especially with a conference that size and tourists and everything. Did
they get anything?
No, they didn't get anything.
I was telling
and I just zipped my and I zipped it, and I put it like on the other side till I got to the hotel. But I just shared, because when I shared it with him, he just he was like, "You gotta always where they go?" I said, "Babe, they gone." It was a little African American guy, a little Caucasian girl, and I'm sure he probably used her to do whatever they do. But they were young. I knew they were young, so I knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
I knew what they were doing. But, so those are the kind of things that you don't think about when you're even traveling.
Yeah.
Which is what made me think about it. Even when you're on vacation or traveling, you still have to have your situational awareness up.
I saw a video of this young man. He said he's traveling, how to travel with your firearm and the things you have to do to go to the airport. Do you all travel with your firearms?
So I haven't traveled with my firearms.
Not via airplane.
Airplane, yeah, right. I'm talking about airplanes.
But you're supposed to basically declare your firearm. You have to have the correct lockbox with, so you could put 2 locks inside of them. Most of the time you have a combination lock, and you I had a client who heard everything I just said to you guys, and he took his gun in his hand with the slide lock back, the show was open, and he walked in and was like, I want to declare my firearm.
Oh, no.
Needless to say, they was on him like white on white.
No.
Wow, put the gun down, put the gun down. He was like, what?
No.
I was like,
What?
yes.
How did he take it out?
Yeah, exactly. So you declare it, and you get a white piece of paper that says this gun is empty, and a receipt with a number on it, and then they put it on, in the bottom with your luggage or whatever. Then wherever you flying to, once you get there, you better have that receipt, or they will not give you your firearm. I don't care if you lost the receipt, you just lost your firearm.
Nothing.
Yeah,
you don't have that
you
form.
shouldn't.
Right, you give them the receipt, they'll hand you your gun, and you strap up and go about your business. It's pretty simple, actually.
But part of the training he always provides, which you both know, in the online training, the classroom portion is there's the what's the name of the book? The book that tells you all the states that
the
you
firearm laws to the 50 states.
Yeah, and we always
guide.
encourage people to get that traveler's guide that have firearms, because it lets you know where you can carry your firearm and how to get it transported to the destination.
It's the traveler's guide to the firearm laws of the 50 states is the name of it. It's on Amazon for like $10.
But you always look up when we go to states, but you can probably get that book.
Yeah.
Be easy.
I go online and look at the states, if they have reciprocity there to see if we can. And most states allow you to carry a shotgun, but you have to carry it in your car unloaded.
Yep.
And then when you get there, you can load it. But I was going to Pennsylvania, and I was looking at. I was going to Pennsylvania, and I was looking at the laws about firearms, and they said you cannot do conceal and carry, the Maryland reciprocity. I mean, I have a Maryland license in Pennsylvania. You cannot do a conceal and carry in Pennsylvania if you have a Maryland license, but you can do an open carry. Why is that? That sounds crazy to me.
I wouldn't even do it.
Oh, absolutely not. I didn't do it.
So my mom actually mentioned that to me. And all you have to do as a Marylander is to go online. I can send you the link if you want to. And they just want to know that you have your license in your own state. Send them a photocopy of it. The next day, they'll email you and say, you can come pick up your license to carry. And you just have to drive down to York County. It's like 2.5 hours. Go pick it up. They take you in and out in like 5-10 minutes. They laminate it, you walk back out.
They did say that if you want
It's
to
simple. It's easy.
carry, then you have to come to this office and get permission. I'm like,
it's just too much.
I'm just going there for vacation. I ain't doing all that. Just to carry my, I'm gonna bring my shotgun.
This is what I do. I no matter where we go, if we're traveling, I will call that state's police
ahead of time
and ask them, I have the right to carry in your state. We have reciprocity with your state. Even when we went to Philly last year. And I said, I want to know, I know what the book says, but laws change all the time.
Right.
Can you tell me, Mr. Chief, what I can do? He said, bring every gun and every bullet. I'm not playing. He said, it's crazy in Philadelphia.
What?
Oh yeah, Philadelphia different.
Yeah. He said in Philadelphia, he said, bring every gun and
sure
every bullet.
did.
That
Oh
you
my
have.
gosh.
I don't care if it's high capacity magazines. He said, bring it. I was like,
Wow.
and then I was like, all right, sir, thank you. And hung up. I was like, okay.
And so we drove up to York County and picked up his license to carry up there.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was telling Bernie about these new people, not new people, these young men that it's now popular to go around masked up, or some even unmasked, and live stream while you're shooting at people.
Yes.
And that's like a popular thing now.
Wasn't it? Didn't you call them a name? They're called something.
Ops.
Yeah.
People are searching for their ops in the neighborhood.
Crazy.
Opposition in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, what is your thought about that? How did that happen? I don't know what in the world possesses people to go around and live stream you committing felony murder.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna go back some years. The way I was raised, you know, even though I was in the streets, you never put your hand on a female. You never mess with an elderly person while you was being bad out in the streets. You never mess with children. Those were some of the what's the word I'm looking
Rules.
for? Rules that I came up with.
It's instilled in you.
Instilled in me. I believe
Street
that
code.
it was so strict with us that some people would say in their head, my age, no, when I have kids, I'm not gonna be as strict, because we was getting whippings back in the day, getting our butt whipped. Okay, I know some, well, not you, because you was privileged. She didn't get no spankings, but us that got the spankings, it was like, man, I'm not doing this to my kids when I get older. So I think we lacked on, I'm talking about we as our generation, we lacked on raising our kids with respect. Our kids answer us, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, not because we want to hoard over them, but just teaching them a way of respect.
Right.
When it comes to elderly people, you respect them, and they're going places in life as a result of having that respect. The respect is gone. Okay, I have video after video of people, children, kids, 14, 15, 16, running up on elderly people and punching them in their face and stomping on them.
I cannot.
With cones and killing them.
Crazy.
I cannot.
Where did that start? Like, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So everybody wants to be popular. It's all about, now that the internet is
social
out and live
media.
social
Yeah.
media just really has people like, oh, let me show my ops what I do on camera. They know it's me, but my
crazy.
face is covered. Not knowing that you can trace anything back.
Dude, you
cameras,
Yes.
street cameras
Stupid.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Telling on
crazy.
themselves.
The level of immaturity and lack of home training that some of these young people have, there's no respect for life anymore.
No,
There's no respect for authority. They don't even care about their own lives.
No.
Most
They
of
don't.
them,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of them, they don't even care about their own lives. So to do stuff like that and social media has taken
That's crazy.
this generation to a whole different place of how they even think.
I showed a video to Bernie yesterday about these guys were in a car and they were live streaming, and they were like, "Oh yeah, speed up, speed up, speed up."
That's the one we was shooting. Oh, was he driving? And
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
the
at
guy
a
at
bus
the back
stop.
window, and he was shooting.
Yes,
They got the
at
bus stop.
yes.
I said it sounded like
I'm
a
like,
BB gun. He said it was a real
No,
gun.
no.
No,
That's a real-
that was a real
I
gun with a
said,
suppressor on it.
that's
Some
what you
kind of
said, suppressor.
I was like, I mean, he's
And he was
trying to
running,
kill
he
this
took
person
off
for some
running.
reason.
Yeah,
He's
it
like,
was
"Where my money at?
sad.
Where my money at?" And I was like,
It's crazy.
"And you recording this, dummy?"
Yeah.
As if
Exactly.
you're not going to get caught.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You brought up you told a very intriguing story. I was amazed with about one time that you were sitting in your car and you had to draw on somebody. Have you ever had to? Could you tell that story? And could you tell like if you've ever had to like draw on somebody to protect yourself or protect your family?
So one time I was walking out of a Safeway in our neighborhood, and this gentleman asked me, did I have any money? And I was like, no, sir, I don't have any money. He was like, yes, you do. Call me the N-word. Okay. Call
Was he
me the
black
N-word.
dude or white
Black
dude?
dude.
Okay.
And I'm walking to my car, and next thing you know, a couple of his friends come around the corner and they're following me. Okay, so now I'm like, am I in imminent danger? There's 3 people following me. No, you're not in imminent danger. Get to your car. So the more I'm getting to my car, the more they start coming around. So now I turn around and I just lifted up my shirt and I brandished it. I was like, hey, I don't want no problems. And they took off running. So that was that time. The other time I was in DC and I'm just sitting in my car waiting for one of my clients to come out from where they were. And this minivan just kind of drove up beside me and was pointing to my truck. And I'm looking at him. He doesn't see me through my tents. And they drive around the corner, come back the second time.
And pulled up closer.
Pulled up a little bit closer. Then they came around a third time and they pulled up right to my truck. Like, so I couldn't open up my door. 2 teenagers, very thin, had a little scully on their head. I could see they were very young, maybe 15. Okay, went and tried to pull the back of my tailgate. The other one went to my window and was peeking through with the gun in his hand, trying to look and see. He didn't see me in there. Then he took out a little jimmy stick and tried to jimmy the lock. So now I'm like, there's a gun, imminent danger. There's a car in front of you, a car behind you, and you can't get out your door. Shoot this little boy. Shoot him. I picked up my 40 cal and I put it to the window, and someone was like, don't do it. I'm like, hold up, but if you get in the car, I'm having this conversation with myself with my gun pointed right at his head. I could have squeezed it and I would have been justified. Okay. But something just told me not to do it. So I rolled down the window and I let him see it. And I stuck it, put it right to his forehead. And he was like, oh, and he just took off, ran, jumped in the van. And left. I was this close.
Is that crazy?
I was this close. Man, you talking about like your adrenaline,
Yeah.
heart race. And I had to sit there for literally 10 minutes just waiting for I was like, just thinking about what could have happened.
Yeah.
Is you shoot and kill this boy, you're going to have people on the news saying, why would he
All
kill
this
that little
stuff,
boy?
right.
Well, because he was going to kill.
All
you
of
know?
them, all of the
I'm going to lose my
backlash.
business. I had all types of
All
thoughts.
the
I'm going to
stuff.
be in jail.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna be
what
away
I
from
think
my
of
family.
all the
Yeah,
time.
man, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
And that was one of the things that I think stuck with me the most when we took your training, the last training that we took. I think one of the police officers said it. They said, you know how when you you listen to the news and you find out that some young boy, some young girl got shot by the police officer.
Right.
And the first thing is you think, well, why do they have to shoot that boy? And they get all the scrutiny that the police go through. Or were you trained properly? Or did you feel like why did you have to do that? The guy said the same questions that they ask about the police officer, they're going to ask about you, or the state,
You're gonna get
the
the
attorney
same
general is going to
scrutiny.
ask about
Yes.
you.
That stuck with me too.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so
You get
you
the
know
same
different
scrutiny.
than the police officer
Nope.
that shoots somebody in the questions that he has to go through. The only thing is, it's like for a police officer, they're on administrative leave until
Correct.
pending an investigation.
Correct.
That to us sounds like, okay, they're going to figure out what happened. But for us, it's like, okay, now you got to get an attorney.
Yep.
Now you got to go answer the questions and all
Yep.
the things. But
And may do some jail time until
Yeah.
they figure out whether or not you can be released.
that's what makes me
Exactly.
feel like, okay, when I do carry, it's like, okay, I got to pre-plan what it is I'm going to do in case any situations happen.
Yes.
It's more stress when you are
Yes.
carrying than when you're not.
yes.
I be
Yeah.
telling you.
But you still need to carry it.
I know.
But you
Yes,
still
yes,
need to
That's why I
carry
be
it.
scared
My
to
sister.
carry it.
Yes.
I know.
You still.
Yes, you still need to carry
Oh
it.
my God.
I told this on this podcast before, but I didn't tell you all. I went to New Jersey, Atlantic City, for a house music thing by myself in the RV. And I pulled up to this place to park, and it was a bunch of cars on the street. And I parked there, no problem. I got my bike out the RV, and I rode to the place where we met up on the beach. Stayed there about 10:30, came back to RV, completely blank, empty, no cars there. I'm the only junk there. It's 10:30, maybe almost 10:45 at night in Atlantic City. I didn't know. I've never been to Atlantic City,
Yeah.
but I know about Atlantic City now.
Yeah.
So I pulled up and I was like, I need to do this quickly. And so the way that my RV was parked, the door to my RV was open toward the street. It wasn't open toward the sidewalk.
I see.
Gotcha.
So I had to park my bike on a kickstand in front of the door, and like to get off the bike and then take everything and put it in the RV and so forth. So what is seen is my RV, a door open, and a bike in front of it. In the
Electric
street,
bike.
electric bike on the
Yeah.
street. As I'm putting things in there, a car drives back by the end of the street, and it stops, and it backs up and starts to turn down the alley. So I had my shotgun in the bathroom of the RV, which is right by the door. And so I'm like, oh shoot. And so I go in, and I remember a video that y'all showed about, I don't want to talk about it, but about making sure when you grab the gun, don't grab it by the handle,
Yes.
by the trigger,
Yes.
because you're going to squeeze the trigger
Yes.
and something might happen.
Yep.
So I'm reaching in. So the car is like turning down the street, but then it stopped. And so I'm unzipping the shotgun, and I'm reaching in for it. And I'm trying to grab. It's like, don't squeeze nothing. Just
Right.
grab it firmly. And I'm trying to get it out and get ready. And so the car stopped. And I'm looking out the back of my, where the bathroom is. Our bathroom is in the back of the RV. So and there's a window there that you
Yeah.
can't see in. So I'm looking out the back of the window, watching all this
While
stuff
you trying
happen.
to
He's
get it.
stopping. And then he pulls back, and then he keeps going. I was like, whew. So I had a shotgun in my hand. I was like, boy, get up out of here.
Yes.
So I put the shotgun on the sink, to get ready to go bring the bike in. I bring the bike in, and then I'm standing at the sink, and I see this little kid on the outside of the RV. Mind you, my RV's in the middle of the street. It's like about a
other
block
cars out
long.
there.
No other cars out there. And he comes walking by the RV, and I see him out the window, but it's tinted, and he can't
Yeah.
see me. So I turn the light on, and he looks up, and then he leaves. I was like, let me get up out of here.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I went in a way I did not come out. I'll try to make sure I didn't run into them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I said, I'm glad I had my shotgun with me.
Right.
Because I felt like I felt vulnerable in a instance that they might have the jump on me in terms of like, I got to get my shotgun out and be ready. But I did not feel vulnerable. Like, I hope they don't come down here and do anything.
Right.
Because I already knew what I was going to do in the event.
Plan.
I already had a plan. And it's those type of situations that I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about the plan, y'all's training that we went through. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do because I'm already pre-planning what it is I'm going to do. Even the fact that I chose to bring it, okay, I have a plan. Like, okay, if this happens, boom, boom.
Absolutely.
Another situation, I went to Baltimore for a bike. There was a house music, but it was a bike event. It was like a bike event where we rode around the city on the bikes. It's like 500 of us. And
when I was in LA.
Yeah, you in LA. And so I brought my pistol with me, and I carried it I carried it on my hip when we were riding the bike. And when we were where I had to park, everyone parked at the location where we parked at, but we ended up at a different location on the other side of Baltimore. So I had to ride back at nighttime. It was around 9:30 at night.
You in this nighttime.
I had to ride back at night, and where I parked, it was like a church parking lot, but it was like nobody was there. And I was like, first of all, I hope my van is still there.
Right.
That's first.
Right.
That part.
Secondly, I knew the situation had already happened in Atlantic City. So I knew move quickly and like head on swivel.
Right.
And so I put my bike in the back of the van, and I'm looking around. Okay. And I'm tying the bike up inside the van to secure it. I'm looking around. I close the van up, lock everything. I'm looking around, back the van out, looking around. Okay. I'm good. I'm clear now. Okay. Wow. So it was like nothing happened, but it was like, I had a plan.
You are already on alert.
And it did not make me feel like I was in danger, and made me feel like I was like, okay, in case something happens. And then I had to ride my bike back to the location. So the whole time I'm like, okay, yeah, because I don't know about what's the neighborhoods of Baltimore or whatever. Yeah. But
situational awareness is real.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have a heightened level of, I'm walking out this door, even in this nice neighborhood, I'm still watching my surroundings.
Yes. So what are some things that y'all are working on next? Now, you have the business that you're doing, any new projects that are coming up? I heard you're trying to do a podcast.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, we are gleaming off of you guys. Okay.
Look. Let this the beginning of this thing be a lesson about how things work in the beginning, but then right when you hit place, like what happened?
Oh man, yeah. We've learned a lot.
Good on the job training.
Yeah, literally. My mind is already there. What he said, what he did. Yes. We are definitely in the works of starting our own podcast. We've had a lot of people tell us over the years, man, y'all need to be on TV. Y'all need to get some cameras and fire. It was like, no, because we're very humble people. We don't look at it like, they want to see. No, it's like, and now it's like, we believe that people can gleam off of us the right way. We want to help people.
The right way.
You know what I mean? The right way, not for us to be in this limelight.
Right.
We want to show you some of our secrets of how we got here, because we have a lot of
27
history.
years with 5 children.
Yeah.
Blended family situation.
history.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot of wisdom, man.
A lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom.
That's why I wanted y'all here.
Yeah.
And thank y'all for coming.
We were glad to be asked.
This is
I
wonderful.
said, absolutely, we will. Yes,
It's a long time coming. We've been talking about it for a while. We've been talking about it for a while.
But I'm glad that y'all are here. I definitely will support y'all and whatever, y'all need for the podcast. Y'all see the whole setup here. I could probably give you some pointers as to how to do things in a less cumbersome way. These are some of the things I've just learned along the way that let me see if this works. Oh, no, that didn't work. And then now I own it. So I just use it. But I definitely will help y'all as much as you can. So
we appreciate it.
And when you do start it, we can collab and we'll come out there. We'll venture out there to where y'all in. Now y'all done bought
flights are free.
Look, y'all done, first of all, y'all lived far enough in Waldorf, but then y'all like, oh, we're going out farther.
Yes.
So believe it or
It's
not,
actually closer in. You don't have to go as far into Waldorf, but because we're on private property now, it just seems like it's a lot longer.
We're literally
to get
like
there. But
5
we're
minutes
actually
from my old house.
Okay.
Turn the corners right there.
Okay. You say 5 minutes, but that's a country 5 minutes mile.
So then, do you do the now that where you are, because you guys have how many acres of land? Do you do the training out? We're at your house now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
it's nice.
Sort of like what we did when we had our training, we did it out of our house. We bought the land to do it out of our house. And so
Yeah.
y'all did the same thing.
Yeah.
It makes it much easier and it
Yeah.
makes it feel like, okay, this is ours.
Yes.
Right.
This is our thing, our baby.
Yes.
Ain't nobody else doing it like we gonna do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Nice.
will say that after watching is for the last 3 years now, almost 3 years at the instructor level, I brag on his training because
Yeah.
I've seen, firearms trainers and I've heard some of the horror stories. And I always tell him, you never charge your worth. He never charges what he's worth because he does such a great job.
He does.
And pays, takes it at the pace that the person
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that the person that is getting the training gets the best training that they can get so that they feel comfortable. So I always tell him that, if I was going to go get firearms training from somebody, I would recommend him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely. Definitely.
Appreciate
we
that.
definitely co-signed that.
Yes.
Because we've taken your trainings multiple times. And you are, I can't say I have had other firearms trainings to compare, but when I was doing my research about the firearms training, because the group that we came with, I had to propose to them 3 different trainers.
Okay.
And so I researched trainers and the kind of training they provide and where they provided the training and the logistics of it all. And all that mattered because when you're dealing with doing training from like maybe 5-6 people,
Yeah.
you got different factors to take into
Yep.
consideration. And you were the most flexible. You were the most willing to work with me in terms of like, okay, how do we make this training that you learn the things that you want to learn as well as meet the time that you want to meet and can do it where you, so all that stuff was a factor and it was very, very comfortable. And even the trains that we've taken subsequently were very, very comfortable. They're very, very easy. But my thing is Bernie feels safe.
Yes.
Because Bernie
I
don't
feel
like
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to carry a gun, have a gun, whatever, but he got to have backup. But
That's
Yes.
right, girl. That's
Yes.
right.
but your training makes me more comfortable with even having to deal with it. And even just having your training, I had a real live example of something that happened that you
Yeah.
told us
Yeah.
what will happen. And I was like, see, that's exactly what they told us in
Yeah.
class.
Yes.
Because I was talking about how I didn't like Maryland rules or whatever. And so I was like, see, that is, exactly. Because that last training really that we went to with those
Yeah.
police officers and all those
Yeah.
people there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he brings
Oh
in
my
like
gosh.
police officers that are
Yes.
active duty police officers and retired police officers.
Yes.
And you also brought in that guy who does training,
Martial arts
training,
Yeah.
Self-defense.
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 And so it was all that, and it was like, yeah, I feel like I know that. And then we did the whole draw test, and try to shoot somebody running at you. I shot one of your sons.
Yeah. Yes.
And your children are in your business with you. Do they help out?
Yes, they do
Yeah.
help me.
Okay.
They do help me
so
out.
it's a good family. So this is what I'm talking about when you talk about family legacy.
Yes, sir.
It's not about the 6 figures because it's the
Correct.
memories are made off the money that you make.
Correct.
Exactly.
It's made off of the experiences that you all have while building something together.
Absolutely.
Buying the land and building out the specs and then having the conversations about, okay, I want to do this. Oh no, I don't think you should do that. And the bonding that happens within that dynamic and all the things that go on in terms of making decisions, and then all that stuff is the family.
Yep.
And then how you all can bring your children in there
Yep.
and do that stuff. So that's beautiful. I applaud you. We applaud you for the work that y'all are doing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
if you all are in the area and you all want to do some handgun training or get your HQL or your CCW, that's the right to buy a firearm and a right to carry one in
Yes.
Maryland. Definitely holler at Iz.
What's
I put
his
his
name? What's the name
Conscious
of his company?
Tactical
Yeah.
is the name of the company. The
Yeah.
website
Sorry.
is www.con-tactical.
I put all that information in the description, and yeah, definitely reach out to them for the training. It's a great job. He does as a black man, he makes you feel comfortable, and he deals with issues that we, as black people, he answers questions that black for how do I say this? He answers questions that black people would ask.
Yes.
Can I also say another thing? What I like about your training, it's very humbling Like you don't train to like, oh look, I got a gun. Like everybody there, like it's more like you need to be careful. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
everybody you brought in talk that way. You talk that way. So it's not like, look at me, I'm running around with a gun thing. It's like this ain't no joke. You need to be serious about it.
Right.
Which I was like, see, that's what this is very serious.
Right.
It is.
So I love that about your training. It's really good.
A lot of people get a gun and they feel like, oh, I wish would come to
Yeah.
me.
No, it's not about
I'm like,
that.
no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't pass. I had 2 people that I gave their money back because when I asked you, what is the purpose of you carrying? Because I live in a bad neighborhood and next time I see X, Y, and Z, it's on site.
Oh Lord.
No. I'm not signing off on that.
Yeah,
No.
No.
Nah.
Exactly.
So it's about the intent. I just want to protect myself if I have to.
Exactly.
I must be in imminent danger. I want to go home to my wife at the end of the day and my children.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And, if it's between me and you have a gun pointed at me like it in DC, if had that dude had raised that firearm, because when he was using his left hand to jimmy the lock, his right hand was down under the window. Had he still had it here, I probably would have just be a different story.
Yeah.
Because that means he could have just pointed at me.
Yeah.
But
Right.
He just took off running, thank God. And
Thank God.
have to
That's
worry about
crazy.
none of that, man.
Well, you definitely want to get back home to your wife safely into that pole in the bedroom. But we'll thank you for coming out here. And please, when they start that podcast, I'll be the first one to let you all know. They got a lot of stuff to share. 27 years, 5 children, guns, all that stuff will be
all of it.
all that stuff will be definitely interesting to hear their story.
Yes.
But so if you liked this discussion, please check out some of the clips that we're going to put out. We're going to put out some of the clips for segments of this because it's a very long, because we're already at an hour and 24 minutes. And that was just
Didn't feel like it.
yeah, that was
feel like
Time
yeah.
to
So
fly.
check out our clips when we put them out. It's not loud. I could do that.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm not doing like that. See that's what you do.
Okay.
Check out our clips and subscribe, do all the YouTube things that you do when you want to support us. Okay, thank you all, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
We out.